Let me take a time to say a special good morning to one and all listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Welcome to The Point this morning. I'm your host, GT. Going to be around with you for the next couple of minutes. Yeah, should I say a couple of minutes? Anyway, let me say to those of you who are listening via social media platforms, good morning to you. Whether it's the Facebook page, YouTube channels, good morning. Those of you at home, viewing your television, good morning to you. Those of you listening to the radio, welcome. It's To The Point. It's Tuesday, the 15th day of July, and it's usually the particular day of the week that we host the opposition here on today's program. Representing the opposition today, we have Mr. Alvin DaBreo with us this morning representing. Let's go over and say good morning to Mr. DaBreo. Mr. DaBreo, good morning and welcome, sir. How are you doing this morning? Welcome.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to all the listeners. I am good, and how are you?
I'm doing great, great. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. It's been a while, I would say. It's been a while, of course, and I think it's actually the first time I'm hosting you via the To The Point program. So I would say a warm welcome to you, and I certainly hope to have you a couple more times on the program. And let's get into the meat of the conversation this morning. You, of course.
Yeah,
You were going to say something? Go ahead. Let me give you the opportunity.
I was just going to say thank you, and I look forward to being on many more programs with you too.
All right. Well, you're certainly welcome.
Thank you.
Sir, you being the of course, the caretaker within the, of course, parish of St. John. And you have been the past MP for the parish of St. John, if I may say so. How are things going on for you, as you know, back into the role of being the caretaker? I should say back, but I don't think you ever gave it up officially. But how's things for you back in the parish of St. John, I must say?
Well, it's very good because I love public service. I love working and helping people. And it's something that I enjoy and look forward to doing. But it seems as if I am still the MP because a lot of people are still coming to me with the questions and problems that they have, looking for solutions. So it's as if I never left.
All right.
But I'm here and I'm enjoying it.
All right. I want to get into, of course, one of the debatable conversation that's taking place within the parish of St. John right now. I want to talk about the that closure road situation. A few days ago, I saw you via video on social media talking about, of course, what is taking place there. Talk to me. There have been concerns about the instability of the closure road in your constituency. Could you share your of course, perception, of course, on the current situation there? Talk to me in relation to that, sir.
Yes, well, what we see in there is something simple turning into a man-made disaster because of, as I say, poor leadership from the minister from infrastructure right down, because this was just a broken culvert. And I remember when I was the MP, I was there with the Minister Cox, who was the Minister of Infrastructure at the time. And at that time, the Minister of Infrastructure used to go around to see jobs, not like this present minister who you don't see him coming around at all. So we were there with the engineers from the ministry, and it was determined that that a gate-bound basket should be placed there, looking at the site. And then, as you know, election came and then we were out, but that was already budgeted for. And now we see that about 3 years later, they have started that project. And all that is happening there, they started with some mass excavation. And if you are doing any kind of excavation like that, you have to do a soil test to know exactly what type of soil you're dealing with. And the result of this soil test will determine the type of foundation that you would need. But this was not done in this case here. And also, whenever you're working in areas like this, so you know closure is prone to rain, you don't do start this project in June, during the middle day of the rain season. You wait until the dry season to do that. And the was supposed to, the first thing that they're supposed to do was to control the water. But they just started digging, and then you see it sliding. And rather than stopping, they continue to excavate. And I asked there, well, who's the engineer? And I couldn't get an answer. And then right now what we have is that the whole village is cut off. And it's very burdensome on the villagers because if you have to get a simple thing like groceries, you either have to take a taxi to Grenville because you do not have buses running from there to Grenville, or you have to walk to come down to where the site is damaged, and then arrange for a taxi to take you there. When you get up, you have to take all your loads or your groceries back up with you. And you have also people there that have business involved, and it's very difficult for them to operate from there now. Farmers who have to come to go up to sell their produce cannot. So it's a very difficult situation. And we're not seeing anything from the government as to how they would alleviate that problem and help the people. Because in addition to it being a great inconvenience, it's an additional cost because you have to pay more for transportation.
Let me ask you this, sir. Let me ask you this. What do you think, of course, need to be done to address the situation, especially for the safety and the risk of the road, and how the urgency of this particular issue, especially for the people of St. John or in the closure area per se? What do you think needs to be done in the immediate, sir?
I think that what they have to do is to look for an alternate route. And there's a couple places that you could quickly do an alternate route, because this present route there, this present location, you're looking at least over 2 years before it could be rectified or come to some sense of being normal. So I would think the best thing to do is to look for another route. The MP for St. John said that there is an alternate route to closure, but that's just her talking because she's not familiar with the constituency, and it was just a totally misguided statement, because this is the only route to get to closure and also to get to Brudge Grove, Grenville, and on the eastern side of the island coming through.
Do you have an idea where an alternative route could be, of course, put in right now about now, knowing that the way the situation and the urgent need, especially for folks needing to traverse that particular area 2 and 4? You said the MP has mentioned that there's an alternative route. You say they should look for one. Where couldn't they put a route right now if there's? I am totally less knowledgeable about the area. You're probably a bit more knowledgeable than me.
Yes. Well,
if you should share your opinion on a roof, where could they put a route for that?
My first choice would be from where Marshall had the sawmill, come around to by the Llewellyn Duncan, by the Great House there, just before the bridge. This would be the shortest and easiest to do. Another option would be to go from Mount Felix, and you could go from Mount Felix to Paradise or the top of Closure, but you would have to do 2 small bridges on that route.
All right.
To make it viable, yes.
All right. And we're looking at additional costs coming in there if they, of course, going to do it in that particular, in the second one that you mentioned. Also, let me ask, what do you think that government has done enough, to manage this particular situation? Are there, of course, any additional actions that need to be taken, per se, as it stands now?
Well, since they noticed the first slide, the project should have been stopped and then some more studies done as to the condition of the soil there before they continue with it. But they didn't stop. They continue, and they also took the soil at the bottom of the road and they put it at the top of the road, adding more weight to it. And another thing they did is the water coming down, they put some coal mix across the road to channel the water right in the same zone where they're walking, rather than channeling the water on the opposite side that would go down into the river. So it tells me that whoever is making the decision there does not know what they're doing. And it's getting worse because every time you go there, you could see larger cracks. There is a walkway that was built for pedestrian. Well, that walkway right now is collapsing. And that's where you have people and kids. That's the only route that they have right now. So I think that even the walkway, they could probably go further inland, just get a bobcat to cut a new walkway further inland and put some binding and crushed stones on it. And that would give you a more solid walkway than what you have right now. And more safer too.
All right. Of course, Mr. Alvin, we due for a break. Let's take a break. When we come back, we still have much more to discuss. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back after the break. Don't touch it dial.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. First, make a family disaster plan and ensure that everyone in your household is familiar and comfortable with it. Remember to add batteries and flashlights to your emergency kit. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling global Africa. The 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum, Active 2025, is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, Resilience and Transformation, Enhancing Africa-Caribbean Economic Cooperation in an Era of Global Uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
It's back, and it's bigger, bolder, and funnier than ever. Old Mass 2025 is coming to the Grenada Youth Center on Sunday, July 20th from 3 p.m. Brought to you by the St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass Corporation, and Grenlec. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of laughs, local entertainment, exciting prizes, and a special appearance by the Carnival Queen contestants. Tickets are just $40 for adults and $15 for children 12 and under. Available from any Lions or Leo member. Grenadian Optical and Clear Vision. All Mass 2025. Sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. I'm with them.
Let me say welcome back to our listeners, welcome back viewers to The Point Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Tuesday the 15th day of July 2025. It's Opposition Tuesday today on the program. And we have, of course, Mr. Alvin DaBreo with us this morning. I'm going to say good morning to Mr. DaBreo once again. Welcome back to the program this morning. I want to ask you this particular question, sir. You know, you being the active caretaker for the opposition New National Party within the parish of St. John, how do you view the work of the current MP from the National Democratic Caucus? How do you view what is taking place right now in terms of the work that has been done?
Well, we have a MP that's MIA, missing in action. The MP is more out than in. And even when the MP is in, she doesn't seem to know what's going on in the constituency. Because, for instance, she called a meeting in Mondo, and when the residents asked her about the alleged so-called asphalt plant that's going there, and I don't think it's alleged because all the construction has been going on and it's even undermined the Mondo Road, she said she does not know. So I don't understand, how could you be calling a meeting and people in the village asking you questions and you cannot answer? And in addition, we also have the health center in Guam. It's a beautiful facility that was money was put into the budget in 2022 to make this facility a 24-hour facility. And we going out there in office for over 3 years. And they still she still seemed to be blaming the previous government because on things like the Mongo Road and other problems, she's saying that it's something that she inherited. It predates her. But that's what you campaigned on, to make things better, not to come in and give people excuses and do as if you cannot do anything, because that's why you're there. That's what you told people that you're going to do. So with these and many other things, like you look at even our playing fields, yeah, they're not properly taken care of. But Peter's Park itself, the pavilion, is in very bad shape. It's no maintenance. We have a facility that was built in Gronroy for the fishermen and with toilets and stuff. The doors are totally rotten in there and everything, and then there is no maintenance on it. So it makes you wonder what the MP is doing. So I'm also baffled because
let me also ask you this, sir. You spoke of course these issues that are taking place within the constituency, and the present government will say, well, there's only been 3 years we've been there. Are these problems just started existing for the 3 years, or these are pre-existing conditions that were there prior to the of course present administration? Would you say, could you respond to that for me?
Well, when I came in government, there was an NDC government there that preceded me. And I never complained that I expected them to fix all problems that there, because things happen as you go on. And even sometimes you have to prioritize, different projects. So I don't see it as if to say everything that's there now is because we didn't fix it. But because that's definitely not the case, because we did quite a lot of important things: the health center, the Lands Bridge, the Hubble Bridge, Cuthbert Peters Park, lighting up the playing fields, major roads. There was so much that we have accomplished, the sidewalks and Guelph. And then there are things that's on there, EMAC, to be done. You coming into government now, you're supposed to continue. We look at the Stony Gut housing project. Everything was approved for Stony Gut and the Black Bay so that we could have a housing scheme in St. John, because we never had any housing scheme in St. John before. Everything was there and approved. Even in their first budget, they had money there. Then they took it out and they said that the land is sold, which is a big lie. The lands are still there in Black Bay and Stony Gut for the housing project, which was promised and budgeted for. So I don't, as I say, all I'm seeing is hearing is excuses, and you're not seeing any real thing being done. And they have been there for 3 years. They promised so much in the first 100 days, as if they were going to do miracles. So if you could do so much, promise so much in 100 days, what happened to 1,000 days after, which you've been there about 1,000 days now? So I'm wondering.
Let me ask you this. What do you think is some of the key priorities, of course, that needs to be addressed, especially within the parish of St. John right now as it stands? What is those key priorities that needs to be addressed?
The key priorities are the housing project that we did a lot of work for, because even the 500 homes that they're talking about with this pie in the sky, the same drawings and the prefab housing that we had identified from Trinidad, from the same company. That's the same company that they're using. Yet still they have not done what they were supposed to in Guelph. We had a road to the fort up at Market Square. We started walking there. Then they just shut it down. We had started the road from Mani right up to Breezy Hill. They have shut it down. And there are many other things that we had the aim up to do, and they just seems to about it. We have the Waterloo Bridge that goes to Shaper School, St. John's Christian Secondary. Up to today, they still cannot pave the entrance to and from the bridge. That's road is in deplorable condition. And then the people know that when we did the Lands Bridge and the Hubble Bridge and the bridge by the fish market in Guelph, it was paved immediately. So this one there is I don't know. I can see what kind of leadership we're getting from the MP and also the Minister of Infrastructure. They both lacking.
You mentioned in your introduction this morning that the residents of St. John are coming to you and speaking to you a whole lot. What are some of these concerns that have been raised, I would say? What are some of these concerns that have been raised by the residents of the parish of St. John that you think you need to bring to the attention, to the government? The housing repair program. There were many people that had their bathrooms. They were given materials, but nothing is happening. The materials is just wasted because they have not come with the brigade to do the bathrooms as was promised. We have the school feeding program, the vouchers for books and uniform. All these programs that we had, they just seem to get rid of it. And you're looking at even the bushing program that the poor people depend on to help with the cost of living and their daily life. That, again, is substantially reduced. We have the environmental wardens whose job was supposed to clean around the schools, the rivers, the cemeteries, and other public areas. They have them now doing the bushing on the side of the road. And if you look at the cemetery in Guelph, you would wonder if there's a cemetery there. And the rivers and the beaches are being neglected. Instead, they're using the environmental wardens for what they were not supposed to. They even had them cleaning out the goat pen by Palmis, over a week walking there for NDC activists to have parties. And this is the kind of things that are going on here in St. John. Tell me, sir, for the last 3 years, of course, you being the caretaker for St. John, have you noticed, a rise in the standard of living for residents within the parish of St. John, or has it remained in the same way as it been before? Have you seen a rise in the standard of living for the folks within the St. John?
The only rise in standard of living that we see is from the MP, the people that's around the MP. The general population here, they're complaining, the business owners are complaining, lack of sale. Even MTV did a program in Guelph recently about market vendors that the produce are not being sold. And rather than addressing it, what the MP did, she said that the people from MTV were at the back of the class and they were dons and things like that. And then also some of them asked why Guelph, because that's the problem that the people are experiencing, and that's one of the outlets that they have to vent that. You look at Guelph used to be the city the town that never sleeps. Right now they go into bed early. Some people say it's like it's in a coma. So the cost of living, as I say, is very high. They promised that they were going to reduce cost of living. They were going to eliminate poverty. So I am not sure that, because we have more poverty and higher cost of living.
All right. Of course, I'm be due for a break once again. Let's take that break, or second break in this segment of the program. We come back. We got much more to discuss. Stay with us, folks. So the Point Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back after the break. Don't touch it down.
Fly the Jones swoosh, it's Lava Man, and you already know the energy. It's all about GBN Spice of the Carnat Soca Mona competition. This year is going to be greater, bolder, more exciting than ever. And it's all about the quarterfinals on the 25th of July. The 31st of July will be the semi-finals, and August 8th, finals. Artists, if you think you have what it takes to own the stage, now is your chance. Get there, be there, see you there. Lava Man, the real mad one. Fly the Jones, swoosh, GBN Spice of the Carnat Soca Mona competition.
It's back, and it's bigger, bolder, and funnier than ever. All Mass 2025 is coming to the Grenada Youth Center on Sunday, July 20th from 3 p.m. Brought to you by the St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass Corporation, and Grenlec. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of laughs, local entertainment, exciting prizes, and a special appearance by the Carnival Queen contestants. Tickets are just $40 for adults and $15 for children 12 and under. Available from any Lions or Leo member. Grenadian Optical and Clear Vision. All Mass 2025. Sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. I'm with Dem.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Stumps ready? The biggest party in sports is back. It's Republic Bank CPL 2025. Bowls off August 14th to September 21st. 34 matches, 6 teams, 6 nations. Pure Caribbean cricket frenzy. From big sixes to deadly yorkers, catch every boundary, every wicket, every moment. Live on GBN TV and Classic Radio. This is not just cricket. This is CPL. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Grenlec, and Hubbard's. Republic Bank CPL 2025. Don't miss a ball.
Welcome back to our listeners, welcome back viewers to The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Of course, it's Opposition Tuesday here on To The Point for today. And we have Mr. Alvin DaBreo with us this morning. Of course, he's a caretaker for St. John for the opposition party in Grenada, the New National Party. Mr. DaBreo, welcome back once again on the program. So, DaBreo, I want to talk to you about, of course, more about the constituent of St. John. You've been the former representative, of course, when the New National Party was in power. You've been a former representative of that particular constituency. Can you tell us about the initiatives that are projects that you have, have been involved in, and in terms of helping to improve the conditions of the residents within St. John and the parish of St. John in a whole?
Well, another area which is very important to everyone is that of health. And we have a beautiful facility here in St. John for a polyclinic. Up to date, and it was opened 2 days before the election. Up to date, we have not had one child delivered there, although we have a large room there for deliveries. We had procured some equipment from Dubai and from New York. Well, I understand that all this equipment that we had there were removed and sent other places. So we are still here waiting for this facility to be a 24-hour facility, because if you have an accident or anything like that, you still have to drive all the way to St. George's. Well, you cannot go to Maribor anymore because we have no road across Cloger.
Sir, if I could tap in on you, what are the reason you're here and why that particular facility is not being utilized to the fullest as it should? What are the reasons why you're hearing for that in relation to that?
I cannot get any good reason why, because it's not a matter of money, because we had funds there approved for that in the budget that we were there in 2022 budget. So the funds was there. We had equipment there. I really don't know what it is. It's just maybe lack of foresight or lack of consideration and empathy for the people of St. John and St. Mark, why this facility is not being utilized to its full potential. Because you have X-ray room there and everything. As I say, it's a modern day facility, and we're just calling on the government to implement or have it running 24 hours. And that would also reduce the load in the hospital in St. George's, because the people from St. John and St. Mark's would be going there once you have a good facility. So you could also move some resources from there, from St. George, that you would not be needed because of all the services that people now would go to war for rather than coming to St. George's. So it's just a matter of being able to manage efficiently. But if you do not have the experience, as I say, our MP here has come straight from school to this job. And even the Prime Minister has never managed any business before. So and a lot of them are just new. They preach youth to win the election, as if youth would help them. But people are now seeing that what you need is people that have experience and people that care. And these are the people that you should be electing, not just somebody that's saying, hey, I'm young and I'm new. And then once they get elected, you're seeing the incompetence. And it's sad, but this is the sad reality of what we are facing here.
All right. I want you to speak to me about some of the positive changes or improvement that you have, of course, seen in the constituency during your time, per se, and your time working with the particular communities within St. John. Talk to me about some of the positive changes, sir, that you have seen or have made towards the parish of St. John.
Right. Well, in addition to the roads and bridges and the same health center, the Cuthbert Peters Park, we did Power Park, new pavilion there. The playing field before was in a terrible state. We had it leveled and lots of topsoil, and now it's a nice facility. Just hope that they continue to maintain it. We light up the playing fields in the same Power Park in Grand Roy, Florida. We had lights bought there for Mongrambi. And that project had started again just before the election. After the election, they took the lights and they put it someplace in South St. John. And Mongrambi there is still left without light on the playing field. We see the community center there. They've started work on it, and they just abandoned it. So the people now, it's better they had left it as it was before, because right now there is no windows and it's just an open shell. And we see another area that is of concern is the lack of consultation or the involvement of the people that in the government making decisions or statutory bodies making decisions without proper consultation. Because the first one we had was the asphalt plant in Mondo, no consultations. Right now, Nawasa is planning on, they have started work on taking water above the Concord waterfalls. And what would happen there is that it's gonna significantly diminish the water flow, so it would lose its attraction. And this is one of the main attractions we have in St. John. So I am hoping that common sense will prevail and the government will tell Nawasa to take water at the bottom of the falls and not disrupt the top of the water flow. In addition, the vendors there by the waterfalls were never consulted on what was going to happen. They were just told that the road would be impassable for maybe a couple of years, and there is no talk about compensating them. They asked for compensation, or how would they be compensated, and they're not getting any answer. So these are some of the areas in which we have the government operating and not having proper consultation or letting people be involved. Even right now in Cloget, the people are calling on the government to come and give them some kind of answers, let them know what's happening, because right now they don't know what next. You cannot, if you want to come to go up to buy materials, the truck cannot go there to deliver it. So if you're doing construction, the people that selling fish, the fish vendors cannot go up there to sell fish. They're just totally isolated, and the government is not giving any leadership, or is not telling the people, giving them any hope or on how what's the next step or what's the future will be like. So right now, the school would be opening again soon, and they just don't know. So it's sad what is going on here, and it's very sad the type of leadership that we are getting here in St. John's, and as I say, an extension of the country.
All right. I mean, all that has been said and all that you have mentioned this morning, sir. What steps are you would like to take or plan on taking to ensure that the concerns of the people of St. John's are heard and addressed? What steps would you like to take to make sure that their concerns are of course, are heard and addressed?
Well, right now we're in opposition, so what I'm doing here is the steps. That's what we could do right now, to bring it to the attention and call on them to at least have some empathy. I have suggested to them before that they could do a shuttle service for the people in Cloget on both sides of the disaster zone. I haven't heard them heard anything regarding that, but that's a suggestion that we're giving them. And as I say, being on the opposition side, there is a little that we could do, but we are trying our best to appeal to them to have some conscience, have some empathy for the people that elected them.
All right. We due for a break, a final break in there for the program for today. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will open up the lines for listeners and viewers who, of course, may like to ask a question or two. Let's take that break. When we come back, of course, an opportunity will be awarded to you. Let's take that break. We're coming right back, folks. Don't you dare touch your dial.
Grenada, get ready for an event like no other as One Don Promotions presents Groovy White, a night where we celebrate groovy music on Saturday, July 19th at Radisson Hotel Car Park, featuring live from Trinidad, Mikel Tija, Ding Dong, also featuring College Boy Jesse and Kote. And from Grenada, the ultimate soca champion, Black Adan. See my exit a new man. Two Blacks, Thaleen, Mr. Golden, Vaughn, and much more. Hosted by Shortleg and Rachel Price. Early bird tickets are $75. General admission $100. VIP $400. Available at all authorized ticket outlets and gotofed.com. Saturday, July 19th. Don't miss Groovy White as we celebrate groovy music at the Radisson Hotel Car Park.
JKT Entertainment is bringing the heat. It's time to feel the sound and smell the burn. Bass and burn, cars and noise. The automotive experience of the year. July 26th and 27th at the National Stadium Car Park. It's 2 days of adrenaline-fueled madness with over 30 show cars from Trinidad, including Lethal Auto, MacGyver Sounds, and Simplicity Creations, plus Grenada's own beasts bringing the noise.
He'll say your back, come touch me then.
Early bird tickets are just $50. After that, it's $60. Get yours now at GoToFed.com and all authorized ticket outlets. Gates open at 11 a.m. on both days. Sponsored by Country Cold Store, SP's International, Campari, Stag, Rubis, Fast Print, Waggy Tea, GMC, Rainbow Janitorial, Eco Blue, Spice Style Automotive, and McIntyre Brothers.
Send it on like a Rematon, you know, the original scintillating from the king of drama, breakdown stage, Deuter Hammer, and I'm endorsing Spice of the Carners 2025. We'll be out from the 25th. I want to see every rags and flags lift. Volcano, chainsaw in Chicago, Volcano, mash up stage and mash up show. Send it on.
Play the tune, all the commissioner laughing. You know, it's a mistake to tell we don't do it. When they tell we don't do it, it's like they better tell we do it, cause we doing it. Yo, fat man! When they telling us don't do that, we doing that. Trim the rubber, don't mash up that.
It's back, and it's bigger, bolder, and funnier than ever. Old Mass 2025 is coming to the Grenada Youth Center on Sunday, July 20th from 3 p.m. Brought to you by the St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass Corporation, and Grenlec. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of laughs, local entertainment, exciting prizes, and a special appearance by the Carnival Queen contestants. Tickets are just $40 for adults and $15 for children 12 and under. Available from any Lions or Leo member. Grenadian Optical and Clear Vision. All Mass 2025. Sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. I'm with them.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We're moving up to 8 minutes before the top of the hour. 8 minutes left on today's edition of To The Point. Representing the New National Party, you know, its opposition Tuesday here on To The Point. We have Mr. Alvin DaBreo with us this morning. And, of course, he's a caretaker for the parish of St. John. The opportunities are awarded to you, listeners and viewers. If you do have a question or two, you may like to ask the caretaker for St. John. As in this segment, 435-2041, you have double options of calling in via the direct line and also via the WhatsApp 435-2041. And welcome back once again, Mr. DaBreo. Welcome back. As we await the calls to come in, my question to you, sir. Well, there's a call coming in, so maybe I should just entertain the call and then hold my question for a wee bit. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, GT, and good morning to Mr. DaBreo. Mr. DaBreo, you know the biggest develop you could have in a country is your people. And I hear you mention so much things that you do, roads, bridges. Why hear you mention one about developing even one person in your community? But our biggest asset is our people. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. You want to respond to the caller, Mr. DaBreo?
Yes, all the things that I talk about, I wonder who benefits. It's for people. The health center, the recreation grounds, the playing field lighting, and even we talk about the Concord Falls and the people that work there. I talk about closure and the people that's suffering. So I don't know. Well, yeah, so caller, all these things that we talk about benefit people. Thank you.
We do have another caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, GT, and good morning, Mr. DaBreo.
Good morning, sir.
Right. And Mr. DaBreo, I did hear you make a mention that that NAWASA should actually collect the water below the falls. That is, after persons would have actually gone to the falls and bathe in the falls and do whatever they want to do in the falls, you were saying that they should not collect it above the waterfall, but below the waterfall?
Yes, of course. You could make a no-swimming zone at the bottom of the fall and also create a place so people could swim after you take the water. Look at all the dams that you have around Grenada. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, right? people still have access to go to them if they want to go bathe or fish, whatever. And you look at even in all the big countries, for instance, the Mississippi River, all the cities above use the same water. Then they treat it and they put it back in the river. Another city will take it, treat it, put it back in the river. So you could once you treat the water is good. But at the same time, you could make a no swimming zone at the bottom of the falls, because what we're looking at from the top of the falls to the bottom of the falls is only a few feet we're talking about.
So you said no swimming in the falls too, because it would have to be no swimming in the falls in order for us to be able to use the water after the falls.
It could be, you could make a no swimming.
So then what the falls will be there for? The falls will just be there for people to look at it? All right. I did also hear you speak about the health center, or what was the name you call it?
It's the polyclinic.
The
polyclinic. Right, yeah. The polyclinic that you did speak about from in St. John's. Now, just to advise that since we do not have sufficient staff at the general hospital, I can't see how we would have been able to staff that polyclinic and the general hospital and all the other hospitals around sufficiently. Also, I must indeed say that the road at Clocher was at a dilapidated condition while you were in office, Mr. DaBreo. And so, if it was possible, maybe you should have actually repaired that road before it became that bad, so that the problem that we have now would not have been here with us, because you would have actually repaired that road while you were taking care of the people. But all in all, I've seen a number of things happening in Guelph that I feel very pleased about. And I'm happy that I'm seeing that the young lady is doing quite well. So I can't see that that what you're saying here is sufficing. That the youth doesn't mean that the youth is not working. It just means that it's a young person working. I do want to thank you and have a great day, sir.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Any further response to the caller scenario?
Of course, because what he's saying is he's making excuses for the staffing, but you and your government, you all promise that you're going to make things better. You're going to make the healthcare better. So why are you making excuses now and saying you don't have staff? Do what it takes to get trained or hire staff. I understand we were getting staff from Cuba before. We have alternatives to do that if you want to do it. And again, you were saying that I have been there, so I should have fixed the road enclosure before. So what is it you wanted to happen from this government? Just come sit down and get the big $24,000 a month and do nothing for the people because they increased their salaries twice, right? But what it is, it's a continuation. When I came in there was an NDC government before me under Tillman Thomas, but you didn't hear me complaining and say there is nothing to do, or I blame the Hubble Bridge on them, or blame the Lands Bridge, blame the health center, or that. We got up and we do what we have to do. So let me tell you, caller, stop making excuses for this incompetent government, right? And let them do what they promise the electorate that they would do. Make life better, give us better health care, better roads, because even the same Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, talked about Molyneux Road. He said that they would fix it in 2 months if they were in office. Look how long it takes, and it's still not completed yet, because you have all kind of big potholes there, and it's still rough. So I don't understand what it is that you're saying, because from what I see happening with the present government, I am not seeing any leadership, and I think that we're not getting whatever they're talking about transformation. Our quality of life is depleting, and if you just walk around and talk to people, they will tell you how hard things are in Grenada, and there is no, even for the youths you mentioned, there has been not even one Imani program put on by this government. Instead, they're sending them home systematically, and they have not replaced it with any programs for the youth.
We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. DaBreo. How are you doing today?
I'm good,
hope that you're okay. There is something called succession planning. And there is also a system, something I realized, there's a syndrome called systemic avoidance of reality. Now, with every government, you have something called your plan for the next generation. And if a government just been in office for 3 years, I mean, we all can do much. It's very simple. Look at the amount of work that the NDC done in the space of 3 years. 1, oh no, those phrase. 1, 2, 3. We had people who've been in office for 2 terms. So what you call the changing of the guard. And we have to be honest with ourselves. And what we're seeing, we are not saying perfection, but we are seeing a government that's doing things. And mind you, perfection does not exist among the human domain. However, we have to be realistic. As I said earlier, there's something called systemic avoidance of reality. And every time I hear people from NNP speak, that is what I'm hearing, because they're not facing the reality. That for the short 3 years, our leader, under the leadership of Deacon Mitchell, he is doing an excellent job in terms of his experience. You have to look at things in context, you know. The experience Deacon have since he came into politics, right? Since he's been in the field of politics, and the inroads he made, the impression he gave. You're talking about Mr. DaBreo being there for a lot of years. And you have somebody who just been in office. Look at that. We can proudly say St. David's Catholic Secondary School. I have children. I was 4 of my children went to St. David's Catholic Secondary School. And since before they graduated from school, a whole years ago, now you see the soil turning. We talk about pension. The Prime Minister mentioned he's going to do that. He done it. You see roads building. You see innovations. But you'll never hear them talk about all the wasted funds of the past government. Ikram Jimila, all these, the fall farm in St. Mark's and all these different things. Now you have a young lady in Goa who's trying to do her best. And we have to be realistic. 3 years, 1, 2, 3, and then mark the government based upon the 3 years and the leadership based upon the 3 years. I think, Mr. DaBreo, I think you should be praying for Brother Deacon Mitchell, and I think you should be praising him. And I think you should be doing better than that and giving him some credit for the time. Have yourself a blessed day.
Well, yeah, I would give him credit for being out of the island more than in, because it seems like if it's Andy Williams that running the country, he's hardly ever here. He's always traveling. Right now he's in I think he's in the Bahamas, attending a Canto meeting, which is not a meeting for leaders of government. It's for ministers of communication. But yet still you have to find himself there. You talk about the St. David's RC School. Well, go back and do your research and see under which government the funds, right, was given for it. And ask the church. It was the church that was delaying the project. This was under the NNP administration, so get your facts straight. We're talking about the railings. Yes, we have some in St. John's, but what is happening? They're just narrowing the road with these railings. They're not building retaining walls. We have more vehicles coming in. Widen the road, not narrow it. Okay?
We do have another caller. We do have another caller, Mr. DaBreo, and of course maybe your final caller for the morning. Call your life via WhatsApp. Good morning to you.
Hey, GT, good morning.
Good morning to you,
Good morning, Mr. DaBreo. Mr. DaBreo, you should be ashamed of yourself. What this little girl who just turned 20 put a good licking on you and is still living it. Anyway, my question to you. The leader of the opposition said that what is taking place now with the road in question that you've been talking about was man-made disaster. All right, and then we see like in St. John's a couple of years ago, we see like the same sliding taking place, and you're passing Grenada, and I think there is a bell that run below where you could get like slides like this. So in my question to you, do you think it's a man-made scene we're dealing with right now. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Respond to that.
Of course, yes, of course it's man-made. Who started it and who is giving the leadership? Have you seen the design, the drawings? What drawing are they following? Did they do a soil test? So stop making excuses for them.
We're moving down to approximately 6 minutes after the 10 o'clock hour this morning, Mr. DaBreo. Of course, I want to thank you a whole lot for being on today's edition of To The Point. Anything in closing before we take a wrap today, sir?
Yeah, as I say, I thank you for the opportunity to be here. And from the callers that call, they all seem to be pro-government. So I've had an opportunity to talk to them. And I know if they follow their conscience and if they have a good eyesight, they would be able to compare what we had in the past 9 years and because if you look at NNP had 9 years, NDC before I was there were 4.5, and now they're going at 3.5. So if you look, they have been there about 8 years now. So just don't look at NNP 9 years, right? Put them together, say within the past 20 years, the time that you had NDC in government was about the same time you have NNP in government. So don't try to blame everything on the NNP or leave everything for the NNP to do. Come on and take some leadership, and the people in the country are hurting, and show some empathy. Thank you.
Thank you also, sir, and of course, hope to have you back on the program as soon as possible once again. Have yourself a great day, and the best wishes goes out to you.
Thanks, my pleasure. Looking forward.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who contributed to today's program. You called in, you said it home, and you listened. Thank you so much. Join us again for another edition. Goodbye.